Bonjour à tous, and welcome to another session of Unconventional French Lessons. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Madame Ugo, your unconventional online French tutor. So, in today's lesson, we are going to be talking about how to make our nouns plural in French using what we call partitive quantity. That is, when you want to say some. So, in the last lesson, we talked about how to make our nouns plural using our definite articles when we say things like the books. So today we are going to be looking at a book and some books. In the last lesson, we looked at the book and the books. So today we are going to be looking at a book, some books, a dress, some dresses, and so on and so forth. So this is supposed to be our lesson 3. So we have identified some common nouns that you would come across in your TEF and TCF exam. So just to take a quick run of some of them and present them using our indefinite articles, and I'm going to also make them plural using our partitive quantity. So in today's lessons, you will see how to make your nouns plural using your partitive quantities, and from then we will go on to the topic of how to use our prepositions with our nouns in French based on their gender. So come with me. So we have a book. So because a book is a masculine gendered noun, if you want to say a book, you will say un livre in French. And if you want to make it plural, it becomes some books. So we will move from a book to some books. So this is a book. Using our partitive quantity, some books is going to be des livres, which is some books. A dress. A dress is a feminine gendered noun. So a dress is called une robe. A dress. And in the plural, using partitive quantity, some dresses, will be des robes. Some dresses. I want to use another one, a masculine gendered noun, a pen, un stylo. Some pens, des stylos. A house, une maison. Some houses, des maisons. A document, un document. Some documents, des documents. A car, une voiture. And some cars, des voitures. And so on and so forth. So this is how we make our nouns plural in French using our partitive quantity when we want to say things like some in French. Now, the next thing we are going to be talking about would be the interaction of our nouns with the various prepositions in French. But before we talk about how our nouns interact with our prepositions in French, I would like to first start by giving an insight into what a preposition is. it is important to understand the meaning of a preposition, as that is going to help drive further understanding when we start making sentences and talking about the impact a preposition makes in French based on the gender of your noun. So, what is a preposition? I am going to bring some meanings into a preposition by using some sentences as an illustration. So, one of the examples I can give would be the girl is going to the market. The girl is going to the market. I am coming from the shop. I am coming from the shop. They are waiting for the man. He is standing in front of the building. The lady is with the bag. All right. I am going to focus on these 5 sentences in order to drive home the meaning of what a preposition is by identifying some words that have been used in these sentences that I'm going to underline. Now, when you go all the way from the first example, the girl is going to the market. I am coming from the shop. They are waiting for the man. He is standing in front of the building, and the lady is with the bag. When you remove all of the underlined identified words from these sentences, you will find out that in the first one, what you're going to get will be the girl is going to the market. It makes absolute zero sense. I am coming the shop. It does not make sense at all. They are waiting the man. Absolute balderdash. He is standing the building. The lady is the bag. So, a preposition is a word that shows the relationship or interconnectivity that exists between a subject and an object in the body of a sentence. It shows the interaction. It shows the correlation that a subject and an object has in a sentence. And you may ask, what is a subject and what is an object? I will explain better. All right. So, a subject of a sentence or a subject in a sentence is the main performer of the action of the verb. While the object is the beneficiary or victim of the action of the subject. So, when you say the girl is going to the market, the person performing the action of going is the girl, subject, while the place that is being gone to is the market. So here, the market becomes the object. And mind you that a human being can also be an object. And a typical example would be, for example, if we say something like this: the boy is talking to the girl. In the example, the boy is talking to the girl. The boy here is the subject, while the girl is the object, because she is the person receiving the action of the subject. And that is what we mean by subject and object. So when we define our preposition as the word that shows the correlation or how subject and object correlate in the body of a sentence, or the interrelationship that exists between them in a body of a sentence, that's exactly what we mean. Now, why is this important in knowing this in French? It is important because in the French language grammar formation, when you use a preposition with a noun, the gender of the noun usually affects how you use that preposition. And this often happens with preposition to or from. So these two prepositions are going to be the focal point of our conversation as far as interaction of our nouns with our prepositions are concerned. So I am going to wipe off some of these examples written here and focus more on that. So having defined what a preposition is, now let's see how these prepositions interact with nouns in a body of a sentence in French. So the main prepositions we're going to be looking at would be the preposition to, at in French, and the preposition from and of. Now, bear in mind that to and at in French mean exactly the same thing. While from and of in French mean do. So let's start with a, which means to and at in English. So in French, when preposition a interacts with a masculine gendered singular noun, French language says this should be what it should be. Oh. So I use a typical example. I am going to the market. This is our preposition to. And this takes me back to an earlier statement that I made in French, that it is important for you to always know the gender of your noun, as the gender of the noun is very important in making sure that you make very correct grammatical expressions in your French language. This is one of the situations where the gender of your noun will come to play. So we know that market in French is called le marché. It's a masculine gendered noun. Le marché, that's what we call market in French. So if I want to write this sentence, I am going to the market. I am going, or I go to the market in French, they are the same thing. So I am going, or I go, je vais. To, à, the market, le marché. As a beginner, you might think that this means to the. French says the only way to say to the market in French, when you are dealing with preposition a, which means to, with a singular masculine gendered noun, that it should be o. Do not say allo. In fact, allo is grammatically wrong. It's an abomination. Don't do that. So what you would rather say would be je vais au marché. This is the correct one. Why this is wrong? So I am going to the market. Je vais au marché. I am going to the market. I want to say she is singing at the concert. She is singing at the concert. So you ask yourself, What do we call concert in French? Le concert. Same thing in English. So she is singing or she sings at the concert will be elle chante au concert. Don't say à le concert. That would be wrong. This is the correct thing you should say. So typically for every gendered masculine noun, when you say at the or to the, you must have this. Oh, do not say at the or today. Today, à lo. This is wrong. And this is where a lot of students fail in their expression oral, which is speaking, or their expression écrite, which is writing in their TEF or TCF exam. Okay? And the next one I would like to talk about, I'm sure some of us might be wondering, oh, Madam Ugo, what about feminine gendered singular noun? So for feminine gendered singular noun, I'm going to wipe off the preposition of and from because we get to that much later. So for preposition a with feminine singular noun. So with feminine singular noun, remember that our singular noun in French, if we want to express it with our definite article, we will say something like this: la maison, la robe, which means the dress, the girl, la fille, the mother, la mère, the woman, la femme, and so on and so forth. So when we have to the, a, la, nothing changes at all. So to the, a la, for feminine singular noun. So if you want to say at the or today with feminine singular noun in French, a la, it's okay to go. So for example, we want to say something like this: he is going to the house. He is going to the house. So he is going to the house. She is talking to the girl. She is talking to the girl. So all of this, the two here is going to be a la. So let's do he is going to the house. So he is going to the house becomes, I'll bring this sentence down. So he is going to the house will be il va à la maison. While she is talking to the girl becomes elle parle à la fille. So you can see that the girl in French is la fille. So to the girl, à la fille, this is the correct way to write it. And to the house, à la maison, this is the correct way to write it. And the last but not the least, we are going to see how we use our preposition a, which of course means to or at, with a feminine or masculine singular noun with first letter vowel, which we always represent with L apostrophe as our definite article. So whether it is a feminine or masculine singular with L apostrophe, which is first letter vowel. So we will have a L apostrophe as today or at the. So examples of sentences. I want to say she works at the hospital. She works at the hospital. So she works at the hospital is going to be Elle travaille à l'hôpital. So the A and the L apostrophe will still show. Nothing is going to happen to them. The reason being that the first letter here is letter H. We treat letter H in French most of the time as a vowel. So in this kind of instance, she works at the hospital will be Elle travaille à l'hôpital, and you will leave the L apostrophe. So if we had something like this, I am going to the apartment. I am going to the apartment. So I am going to the apartment. In French, this becomes je vais à l'appartement. Je vais à l'appartement. So the first letter is a vowel. So because the first letter is a vowel, it's going to be L apostrophe. So your L apostrophe is going to show. And this is what we mean that in French, when we use our preposition à, which means to or at, with a singular noun in French. If it is a masculine singular noun, what you're going to have as your today or at the would be o. If it is a feminine singular noun, what you're going to have would be ala. And if it is L apostrophe, whether it is a feminine noun or it is a masculine noun, so long as its first letter is a vowel or letter H, it's going to be a L apostrophe. I hope you have learned something today. In our next lessons, we are going to be looking at when we use these prepositions with our nouns in the plural form. I wouldn't want to make this video longer than necessary. Please keep your eyes peeled for the next video. And until I see you next time, please share and also invite your friends and your family to follow our page. Thanks for now and see you in my next video lesson. Bye for now. Au revoir.